Okay, so what's new? Let's cover the Chris Kaba incident really quickly. Now, Chris Kaba was 24 and he was a member of the drill rap group 6'7". And on the 5th of September 2022, he'd be shot to death by police in Streatham. Now, after this, of course, the BLM mob brigade was masquerading around the streets of London, imitating an authentic organization when we all know that they're an illegitimate company, i.e. Patrice Colours, but that's a discussion for another day. BLM on the streets demanding justice for Chris Kaba as they believed that what happened was unjust and unfair. But let's just look at one or two pieces of information really quickly. In 2018, Chris Kaba was charged with firearm imitation, and this was done with the intent to cause fear of violence. Now, this was in relation to an incident that had happened in December 2017, the previous year. In the months following Chris Kaba's death, 6 men were charged alongside conspiring with Chris Kaba to commit murder and even GBH. Now, am I giving you this information to say Chris Kaba deserved what happened to him? Of course not. But what I am saying is that Chris Kaba has racked up a long list of criminal charges and criminal convictions that we must be alert to and see that he wasn't the best role model in the black community. If Chris Kaba was alive and he was successful in carrying out the murder or the GBH alongside his friends to a rival gang member, then I honestly feel that the Black Lives Matter movement wouldn't get involved. Instead, they deflect and blame something else. And I want to be clear, this is also partially the fault of the black community, because the black community way too often embraces a tough guy and gangsterism and being from the streets as being somehow a respectable trait in a man that we must honor, when in fact it brings about the destruction of the community and society. This is an unfortunate aspect of street life. When you're known for running around the streets, it's either you become a target by law enforcement or you become a target by rival gang members. Do you think Chris Kaba alongside his friends would have been successful in carrying out a murder or a GBH to a rival gang member and the rival gang members wouldn't get retribution? I mean, we see it all the time in the streets of London. What we would have seen is retribution and get back crime spiral out of control. And then before you know it, a community is destroyed and riddled with violence. And too often we see this happen in black communities. So to put it bluntly, the black community should be championing behind a positive role model and someone doing positive things for the community. And when you get an unfortunate situation like Chris Kaba, the black community should look back and reflect and say that how do we stop another black life being lost because he was heading down the wrong avenue, and understand that if it wasn't the police that got him, it would have been a rival gang member. So how can we as a community stop other young men in the future from going down the wrong road? In addition, how can we as a black community look at ways that we stop embracing gangsterism and drill music and start embracing educational leaders, scholars in the black community that will shed light on how to eventually get to a more prosperous Black Britain?